Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today we are going to be taking a look at the components that are available for the Dungeon Universalis upgrade pack. And this upgrade pack, or update pack, I should say, includes some new material, some updated cards, updated chits, and some new standees. We won't be taking a look at the standees because actually what I am doing is I'm going through all of the standees in the game, and I am putting those in order according to their faction. And we'll talk a little bit about that later, but I've already kind of incorporated some of the standees, and I'm keeping them in these chit trays there. But the upgrade pack and the US orders for the Kickstarter are finally delivering. I got my upgrade pack last week, and so I thought we would take a look at it. And we're going to start, let's start with the books here. So you do get an upgraded rulebook. The new rulebook is 124 pages. The old rulebook was 116 pages, so they have added some pages. They have separated out the artificial dark player rules into its own section, which makes that a lot easier to learn. And I think some of the language has been cleared up. For instance, I did use this paragraph as an example of just how some of the language was a little clunky, and that did have to do with some of the translations. But let me find the combat. Let's see here. Let me find the combat section, because the first paragraph of the combat section is a really good example, I think, of what they kind of updated here. So in the original rulebook on page 28 for a combat turn, it says, when a character has an enemy, visible or not, located in an explored area of the board and 12 squares or less away from him, he will be considered to be about to engage in combat, which we can call it a combat turn, considering the rest as exploration turns. Okay, so that was pretty complexly written. Let's check out how it is worded here in the new rulebook, the updated rulebook. So here we go. Combat turn. If there is an enemy located 12 squares or less away from a character in a group of heroes, the whole group will be considered to be in a combat turn, while all other turns will be regarded as exploration turns. Note that if all the enemies are eliminated and in the same turn there are still heroes to be activated, they will be able to perform their activation, but they will no longer be in combat. Much better written. And I've read about a quarter of the new book, and it just seems to flow better. There are still a few kind of rough patches, but overall, what I have read from the new rulebook makes me believe that Ludic Dragon has taken into consideration a lot of the advice and complaints from people who read the first edition, and they have addressed some of those. It just has a smoother read to it. It still is a very hefty rulebook. There's a lot to this game, tons of rules. They haven't really simplified anything, but they have made things more clear, and I think the organization is better. So a big thumbs up on the new rulebook. And speaking of rulebooks, they have now included a basic version of Dungeon Universalis, and this is included in the upgrade pack. This is a very stripped down version of the game. This is a simplified version of the game, and you can play the entire game, including campaigns and everything, with the basic rules. And those basic rules clock in at only 138 pages. I have not read this yet. I have read about this, and it is very simple. There is a lot left out of the basic version. And from what I have read, there's a thread on BGG where some people describe the basic game and how it compares to the full game. It really does, to me, feel like a different game, a very different game. I'm not sure if I'm even going to spend the time to read this, because I think the time you spend reading this could actually just be invested in the regular rulebook. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. I do have a couple of friends who are interested in playing this game with me, So I might ask them if maybe they want to start with the basic set and play a few scenarios and then move into the rule books. They are compatible, so you can mix and match things, and you can always leave things out of the full rules if you don't want to add certain layers of complexity. But I do applaud them for at least trying to have a simple version, a simplified version included with the base game. One other book you get here is a Campaign and Quest Book 2. I absolutely love that cover. It is super cool. So this includes all of your information for your new main quest. You have the great campaign. It's called the Nightstone. And that includes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 different quests in that main campaign. And then you get a couple of smaller campaigns, Tales of Fang and Claws, The King of Spiders, the collection from Thami, and Totem Island. And so that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller campaigns. And then you also get a handful of standalone campaigns. And just like the original quest book, you have all of your text that you will read at certain points. And then it does go into all of your various quests. I have not flipped through this much, but the new quests seem pretty cool. What I do like is you can mix and match the quests with the original quests, and you can actually kind of go on all the quests at the same time. You can just travel around the map in kind of an open world nature, picking up, dropping quests, completing campaigns as you play. Finally, there is a small campaign called the Snake Island Oracle. And this is a campaign that has it looks like about 10 different quests in this small campaign. I'm not sure what the purpose of this. I'm not sure why this was not included in the quest book 2, but it is included in the upgrade pack. So it looks like this one has a lot to do. Actually, yeah, it's on an island. So it looks like this one has a lot of seafaring quests, which is kind of cool. Maybe a pirate-themed quest, a pirate-themed campaign. So that is another little campaign you get. And then speaking of the map, they have upgraded the map quite a bit to include some better art. And I think they did a really good job. The old map made things look like the whole world was kind of a desert, whereas this map adds some color and just a little bit of clarification on just some of the way it looks. And I think they've done a really good job. I like the look of this new map. I like the new art quite a bit more. And we will keep that set out for the rest of this video. Another thing you get in the upgrade package, you get all new counters. And they upgraded these. The old counters were single-sided. And so on one side you had the art, but on the other side you just had a black space. They were all single-sided. And if you had things jumbled up, it did kind of make things hard to locate. And so they went ahead and they've included all new counters that are double-sided. So that is very nice. And then you also get 2 decks of replacement cards. I have not looked through these cards yet and I have not compared them to the original versions. So I'm not sure exactly what has been updated, but we can take a look to see what you get here. I have a feeling it's probably maybe just some balancing issues or maybe some corrections of some wording and that kind of thing. Probably nothing too major. Let's start with the big cards here. Okay, so you get some updated special features. The witch, that might be new. I don't remember the witch. The teleport portal, the flooded section, the burning floor, and an important tomb. Okay, so those are some new special features. You do get some new information cards here, so some updated cheat sheets there. Okay, nicely done there. These are all double-sided. Those will probably come in handy while you are playing the game. Looks like some new spell cards here. Oh no, these are new classes or races, I should say. Celestials, Sharmines, Centaurs, and Amphibians. I believe these were all in the original game, so these must just be some updates here. And some campaign cards here for different locations. We've got the Alchemist, Library, Kennel and Breeding Ground, a Pure Dock, School of Magic, Combat School, the King's or Governor's Quarters, Guards, Blacksmith Armory, Sacred Places, Markets, Oracles, Prisons, Bridges, Taverns, Treasure, and a Home. And then these look like mercenaries probably, or NPCs, civilians, an elf mercenary, a mercenary sorcerer, and a civilian. Here we have some upgraded spells here. So we have a couple: animism, channeling, nature, corruption, light, fire, earth, air. I love the spell cards in this game, and I love just how many different spells there are. Really a fun game to be a magic user. Okay, here we have another special feature. Giant insect nest. Oh, that art is great. Yeah, I think these special features are actually new, which is really nice here. I missed this when this card got stuck. An animal companion, an eagle. Some more water spells there. And then we get a few updates here to the aerial. So these are new characters. These are pre-made characters that you can play as. We have some cards for furniture. Maybe these are new kinds of furniture or updates of ways to interact with beds and barrels and boxes. And here we have some dark player cards. We've got new cards for ambush, special creatures, vigilant watchman, riddles, block of stone, terrifying tentacles, rock slides, debris, flooded areas, darkness, complete darkness, closing walls, reinforced door, locked doors, armored chests, fortitude, disease, fortitude, and great sorcerer. And then what do we have here? These are cards, I believe, for the automated dark player. So these are ways that you can control your characters when you are playing with the AI, when you're playing co-op. For aquatic creatures, flying, Razabel there, the undead, animals and vermin, large and huge creatures, sorcerers, battle sorcerers, berserkers, melee fighters, and ranged fighters. So you have all new cards to have all of your different steps that these roles will take when you are fighting against them. And then finally, for the large cards, it looks like we have some more beast cards. So we have horse, dragon cub, crow, cats, great cats, devourer, giant spiders, falcons, an owl, a werewolf, a fire elemental, water elemental, air elemental, and a stone elemental. All right, so a nice variety of new large cards to go through. I'll have to see which ones are replacements and which ones are brand new. I'm not exactly sure. And then we also have some small cards here. So we've got a couple new weapons or replacements. Horns, whips, morning star, and a flail. And then we have some items here. We've got a poison flask and an unidentified potion, which you will have to roll to figure out what kind of potion that is. Looks like a couple skills here, and these are, I think, natural skills. Bodyguard and elite. And let's see, some more weapons here. A blowgun, a handgun, a net, a shuriken. A couple more skills. Cruel and hardened. A couple more ranged weapons, an arquebus. Looks like some new armor here, a new relic, magical armor, or magical item, I should say, an earth-shattering warhammer. Awesome. I love warhammers. And it looks like a whole bunch of skills here. Sweep, brutal, fearsome, poisonous, onslaught, underworld, invulnerable, lycanthropy, lost in the dark, large, flying, and vulnerable. Looks like here we have some more armor. So these are again relics of some kind. A crow idol, a ring of revenge, and a silver arrow. And let's see here, a couple more items here. A musical instrument, nice, for your bard type characters. That's super cool. And then we have lethal shot, lethal blow, quick reloading, deafening roar, scout tracker, 2-weapon fighting. And the rest are some other updated skills here. So taming animals, trapper, champion of the gods of good, champion of the gods of evil, eloquent, herbalist, inspiring music, combat instructor, cold-blooded, streets of magic, or secrets of magic. Streets of Magic would be a spiritual successor to Streets of Rage. And Torturer. Okay, so those are all of the new / replacement cards. Again, I'm not sure which ones are brand new and which ones are replacing cards, so I will have to go through everything and double check. Now, the thing that I am most excited about in this upgrade pack, and the thing that I think will make this game so much easier to play, quicker and more fun, are the Bestiary cards here. And these things are awesome. You get a whole mess of them. There's like 192 cards in here. You get some rules cards here for like your legend there of what is on the Bestiary cards. You get a new way of playing some of the more complex encounters with these legendary encounters during a quest. And then all of the Bestiary cards are separated into factions. So you get your bandits here, and it has a nice little written paragraph about the bandits. Tells you which standees will go with the bandits and their most common skills. And then you get your charts to roll on for when you encounter the bandits and what kind of individual monsters or individual encounters you will be having with your bandits. So then you get all of your bandit cards. And then on the back here, they have all of the stuff for their skills. So you don't need to go through all the skill cards. It has all of the stats for their weapons. So you don't need to dig out your weapons and add weapon stats to the stats of the enemy. Everything you need to face these particular enemies are right there on one card. Everything in one place. Great, great. This is amazing. I love this. And there's just so many options here. So you have your bandits. You have your, let's see what here, creatures of the night. Creatures of the night here. Lord of the Dead, Undead Champion, Vampires, Barrow Guardians, Werewolves, Zombies and Skeletons. And then you have your Corsairs here, your Pirates. So you have your various captains, a shaman, a pirate hero, pirate brute, and a regular old pirate there. And then we have our demons. Lord of Decay, Lord of War, an undead sorcerer, a winged demon, a hellhound, a demon warrior, a bearer of decay, and an ignis demon, and an imp. And then we have our devastators here, kind of our barbarian devastator type big warriors, an underworld sorcerer, Lord of the Apocalypse, Devastator Warrior, Barbarian Shooter. You have your dragon cards here, Fire Dragon, Bone Dragon, Minor Dragon, and your Dragon Cub. And then we have Fantastic Insects. We have a giant Myriapod, a giant worm, giant spider, giant scorpion, giant wasp, great scorpion, giant ant, and a great spider. Man, the insects of this world all sound very, very large and menacing. And here we have our goblin clans, our greenskins here. We've got a goblin kings, goblin shaman, common troll, mad goblin, dire wolf, a great spider, warrior, and a shooter. So some of the beasts are in multiple factions. And here we have our great orc tribes. And the red ones are kind of like elites, or they're bosses, they're the leaders, and then the yellows are elites. So you get a good variety of minions, elites, and leaders in each of the factions. So that's always nice. And then we have our hosts of Bandamore, and these are kind of like spiritual creatures, monsters, tangentially related to demons, most likely. There's your Razabel, so that's like the main bad guy in the first campaign there, the Demon Prince, the War Demon, the Abyssal Aberration, a Minotaur, a Cultist, an Abyssal Worm. And then we have our standard human kingdoms. These are just kind of like the normal human dudes. We have nobles, wizards, great masters, a personal guard, a warhound, a shooter, and a militiaman. We have our northern barbarians. So that symbol there means that they are neutral, and then there are also evil characters. And so sometimes in the faction, you will have neutral and evil and neutral and good, that kind of thing there. Fanatics, wolves, common trolls, ogres. So these are all things that you might encounter in the northern regions there. And then we have our Tai Shang Empire. So these are kind of like our martial artists. We have a captain, a warrior monk, an executioner, an elite warrior, and a regular warrior. And then we have a whole bunch of just creatures and monsters that are unaffiliated with any faction. We have some elementals, a kraken, a megalodon, a giant snake, a golem, an edhard, a gorgon, a chimera, Cerberus, common troll, a mimic. Finally, we have a mimic in this game. That's awesome. A swarm, jungle snakes, a lion, a crocodile. We have some like beasts in the back here. A wolf, dire wolf, a monkey, and a crow. So all kinds of great monster cards. I wish more dungeon crawls had bestiary cards like this. I love this. So there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different factions. And also a stack here of non-affiliated monsters. So you get a whole bunch of stuff in the bestiary cards. And I do highly recommend this. This is separate from the upgrade pack. Both, I believe, are still available on the website. And so if you didn't order these with the Kickstarter, I highly recommend getting both, actually, if you are interested in continuing to play games of Dungeon Universalis. And I am really hoping to kick off a campaign with a couple friends in the very near future. And once we do, I will make some videos and we will talk a little bit about that. Sorry guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.